Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi, also known as Saladin, is one of history's most celebrated and revered figures. His life was a blend of military brilliance, compassion, and strong leadership, earning him admiration from both Muslims and Christians alike. Here is a brief overview of his real story. Early life and background. Salahuddin Ayyubi was born in 1137 in Tikrit, in modern-day Iraq, into a Kurdish family. His full name was Yusuf ibn Ayyub. His father, Najim ad-Din Ayyub, was a military leader who served in the Seljuk Empire. Salahuddin's family had humble beginnings, but they rose to prominence through their military prowess. Salahuddin's early education focused on Islamic teachings, and he was known for his wisdom and religious devotion from a young age. Entry into service. Salahuddin's early career was tied to his uncle, Azad ad-Din Shirkuh, who was a trusted general of the Zengid ruler of Syria, Nur ad-Din. Salahuddin initially served under Shirkuh and quickly proved himself in battles, especially in Egypt, where his military acumen stood out. He rose through the ranks and became the vizier of Egypt in 1169. At this time, Egypt was under the control of the Fatimid Caliphate, a Shia dynasty, but the country was plagued by political instability. Salahuddin, a Sunni Muslim, sought to unify Egypt under Sunni Islam and took control of the administration. Rise to power and unification, Salahuddin's political genius became evident as he consolidated power in Egypt. In 1171, he ended the Fatimid Caliphate and restored Sunni Islam as the official state religion. He also created a unified political structure, which allowed him to turn his attention to the broader Middle Eastern region. Meanwhile, his master, Nur ad-Din, the ruler of Syria, was working to unite the Muslim world against the Crusader states. After Nur ad-Din's death in 1174, Salahuddin inherited his position as the leader of the Muslim forces in Syria, Egypt, and beyond. With his power consolidated, he set his sights on the Crusader states in the Levant, the Crusades and the recapture of Jerusalem. One of the most defining moments of Salahuddin's career was his involvement in the Crusades. The Crusader states, including the Kingdom of Jerusalem, had been established in the Holy Land after the First Crusade in the 11th century. By the time of Salahuddin's rise to power, these states were a thorn in the side of the Muslim world. Salahuddin spent years building a unified Muslim front to oppose the Crusaders. He was a strategic and skilled military commander, and he waged several campaigns against the Crusader states. In 1187, Salahuddin achieved his most famous victory in the Battle of Hattin, where he decisively defeated the Crusader forces, including King Guy of Jerusalem. The Crusaders' defeat led to the fall of Jerusalem into his hands. Unlike the Crusaders' bloody conquest of Jerusalem in 1099, which was marked by atrocities against Muslims and Jews, Salahuddin's capture of Jerusalem was relatively peaceful. He offered protection to the Christian inhabitants and allowed them to leave the city in peace, which garnered him respect, even from his enemies. Leadership and governance. Salahuddin was known for his chivalry, compassion, and sense of justice. He implemented reforms in his territories, ensuring fairness, promoting trade, and protecting the rights of all subjects, regardless of their faith. His rule was marked by the construction of numerous schools, hospitals, and infrastructure projects. He was also a devout Muslim, but his religious views were tolerant and inclusive. He established a balance between maintaining strict religious principles and promoting peace and coexistence. Salahuddin's leadership earned him widespread admiration across religious lines. Later years and legacy. After his victory at Jerusalem, the Third Crusade was launched by European monarchs including Richard the Lionheart of England, Philip II of France, and Emperor Frederick I of the Holy Roman Empire. This led to several years of back-and-forth fighting between the Crusaders and Salahuddin's forces. Despite being unable to retake Jerusalem from Salahuddin, The Crusaders and Muslims reached a treaty in 1192. Saladin allowed Christian pilgrims to visit Jerusalem, and the city remained under Muslim control. Saladin Ayyubi passed away on March 4, 1193, in Damascus, Syria, at the age of 55. His death marked the end of an era in the Middle East. He was buried in a simple tomb, reflective of his humility and devotion to his people. His legacy. Saladin's legacy as a fair and just ruler, a brilliant military strategist, and a man of great religious and cultural integrity, endures to this day. He is revered in both the Islamic world and the West for his leadership during the Crusades and his actions during the recapture of Jerusalem. His character, virtues and values have inspired generations, and his story remains an iconic chapter in the history of the Middle East. While the Crusaders fought for their own interests, Saladin is remembered not only for his military prowess, but also for his ethical conduct, which set him apart from many of his contemporaries. His actions and leadership continue to be an enduring symbol of respect, courage, and wisdom.